And I am live. And for any of you that said, hey, I didn't get a notice that you were going live, poor planning on my part because I just finished a live stream with my friends over at 45 Drives. And hey, things are going really well and we ended up going a little bit long. So I didn't get the time to set this, but I also didn't have time to set a really long video because I have a few more things to get done today. Maybe if I feel like I have some time later, I'll do another live stream. If not, I've been doing them on some of the weekends. I do enjoy the weekend live streams as well, where I get to talk to a lot of you. So I am not in my usual place, which is also why I'm doing the live stream now. I am at the CNWR headquarters in Toledo, Ohio. And I'm going to pan the camera around because this kind of gives you a view of the city. So in case you're ever wondering, it's going to, there we go. There's the city behind me. We're in downtown Toledo. That is where the headquarters is. We still have our office towards Detroit. Technically, that's in Southgate. There we go. Point it back at me. But, all right. But I just wanted to give a few updates on things. So I just got back from New York, and awesome. Unfortunately, I wasn't there long enough because I couldn't reply to everyone because I did posts on LinkedIn. And I got some messages, and I actually think I need to and message me on this if you have a city I should visit. I'll just throw it out there. But I actually might be going back to New York for something else. I was at New York to do a Wi-Fi. I posted I was going there. A lot of people offered me invites, and thank you for anyone that wanted to take me out to eat or anything like that. I wish I could. I mean, I messaged people back that, hey, I wish I had the time. We were there for a engagement with a client doing some Wi-Fi, which we will be doing a video on. I actually did do some filming while I was there, but I want to go back just because it's New York, and New York's a cool place to be. But I also will probably extend my time there so I can get back with. I love actually interacting and meeting with all the different people I know that work at other IT places and things like that. So definitely, absolutely would like to do that. Now, I do see someone just mentioned about traveling. I'm going to do local to the United States first before I start leaving the country. Not that I have a problem leaving the country. I just need to figure out, because the timing. I hate being on a plane is actually probably my biggest. I'll just be honest. I hate plane rides. I have no fear of heights. I have no fear of planes. But being like this, even if I guess sometimes I ride first class, but just sitting there in one place for too long, and then yeah, it drives me crazy. It's an anxiety thing, but it's not a fear thing. Fear and anxiety are different, right? I think so. Anyways, won't get too far off topic. But I will be posting how we do the Wi-Fi surveys. We might want to do a few more videos on it because I haven't done a lot of Wi-Fi videos, and we were talking about it going, yeah, I kind of miss doing those. We're still doing lots of Wi-Fi and tuning environments, walking through how that works, walking through what the reports look like. I think that's going to make, we filmed what we did, or I filmed what Jason did. We'll get real specific here. And the video that will come out of that, it's going to be, like some thought process, how we do it, what a Wi-Fi survey entails, what it looks like, software and tools we use. And we're also going to possibly be reaching out because I've had some other companies reach out to me. Maybe I'll take the time to compare some of these Wi-Fi tools and how they work, and compare them to like the tools that are easier to use, such as some of the Ubiquiti tools. This was a Ubiquiti Wi-Fi network, and it's one of those things. It's not black magic, but sometimes people think it's a little magical getting the Wi-Fi tuned. It also kind of brought up because some of the stuff like, hey, we think we have a problem with the Wi-Fi. Well, actually, you have a loop in the network. You have a dumb switch creating too much noise on your network, and you've got too much broadcast traffic, which aren't Wi-Fi problems, but they will manifest in Wi-Fi problems. So that's it really, sometimes when you're talking to people, this is why I like getting out there and always as much as I can, not just talking over email, but like sit down face to face. Let's have lunch. Let's talk about the challenges of working in IT, or just laugh about the challenges of working in IT. And it gives me other ideas of like, hey, what are the gaps that maybe some other professionals have that I can help overcome? And what happens is a lot of these people get tasked with like, hey, you're the IT person. Also, you're the DevOps guy who supervises the DevOps team to make sure things are provisioned properly. And this has a plug on it, so we're just going to make that your problem too. And they get pulled in a lot of directions, so it's not like they have the time to deep dive on any specific topic, which is a lot of the consulting that we end up doing is on where people go, look, I don't have the time or the specific, skill set because I'm not going to do this very often, and may hire us, where we do have me having a good generalist knowledge, but behind those doors, there's a lot of other technical people that work here at CNWR that do have certain disciplines and knowledge, or even some of the knowledge that Jason has that may be leveraged to do things. It's kind of just an overall for how we do stuff. So yeah, it's one of those things. Like I like bringing all this real world knowledge to all of you, and it's part of the process on there. I will take a few questions. Like I said, I have another thing going on, so I'm going to only keep this live stream going for probably about 10 or 15 more minutes. Let's see, we got, what is the best free backup solution for VMware vSphere? I know Synology and QNAP both have backup apps for this. Does TrueNAS? There's not any native apps that, like, TrueNAS doesn't produce any of the backup apps. I haven't really looked to see what's in their repertoire of things. So if you're still using VMware vSphere, most people seem to have gravitated towards Veeam. And I know Veeam has a free tier. We use the business tier of Veeam. So we at CNWR, we use Veeam for all of our commercial client backups for things. But I don't know what level or what you're missing, because I know they have a free tier on there. But if you're paying for VMware, if you can afford that, you can probably afford the paid tier of Veeam, as it's a good product. But I will admit the Synology backups are also really good. I definitely have clients using those. The way we use things, there's kind of a divide. Let me just explain really quickly here, as this is a discussion we have internally with we were having at our management meeting earlier today, which I got to get back to in just a little bit. The challenge with backups are who's going to manage it. I can put together a solution that you manage, but not me. That's fine. And we do consulting on that. Like, hey, would you like a Synology backup? It's a great tool. It works wonderful. You have to babysit it. Oh, you want me to babysit and validate your backups? Well, we want everything kind of uniform so we can uniformly monitor it. And in that circumstance, we're going to use something like Veeam. Veeam's a good tool for that, and it works really well. That's why we like it. Our team, the tech people, they know it very well. So it's not, that knowledge is not with only one or two people. It's actually well documented how to do restores, and we have lots of people that can follow through on that. So when there's a issue and a client needs data pulled back, we have a process to document. We know where the repositories are. We have the logins with our team. So, I'm going to reach out to Oliver. I think it'd be fun to have him on a live stream. He shows up on mine. I haven't really thought about bringing him on. I should. I don't know why. I thought about that today, actually, because he came on the 45 Drives live stream. I've chatted with him many times. I mean, the whole Bates team is awesome. Working with them has been over. I started looking back because, I mean, I think it was like all the way in 2017, I think, is when they got the Kickstarter campaign going. And I got to know some of the people over the years. And I'm like, wow, I've been working with XCP-ng for a long time. And they're just really in tune with the community, is an easy way to say it. You spend some time in the forums. You see them posting on the socials. If you didn't see, they're working on some new announcements where they're working with Amper to bring forth some more things. They've got new partnerships with new hardware vendors. So yeah, they're good on the socials and everything else. I think it'd be, and by the way, if you look up Oliver Lambert, he has been on other podcasts. So he's not mysterious in any way. He's definitely someone who's very much in front of the socials, doesn't mind. They're at the events. I don't know what US events they'll be coming to, but there's been several events that are big open source events in Europe that they were part of. They like I said, very much participate in those communities, which I think is great. I mean, it's kind of what we want, is to have the people meet us where we're at. So us as technical people, we're going to participate in the forums. We're going to talk about what we like, what we don't like, or challenges we're having, and to see the dev teams join us in those forums, answer our questions directly, sometimes to clarify misunderstanding, or sometimes go, that's a great idea, we should implement that way. And I've watched ideas start as a post in a blog. One of my, it's funny, the dev team ran with it over at XCP-ng. The backup validation was an idea that was kind of crowdsourced from the Vates team joining my live stream. And everyone's like, why don't you just use someone? And I think it was Sam. I feel, and I could be wrong, it was Sam Sheridan who said, hey, we could just have the guest tools validate the backups and do a restore so you can restore it without testing the networking. And someone said, that's great. And they built it all out and it works here today. So yeah. How'd the Wi-Fi job go? The Wi-Fi job went well. I'm excited to do the video on it. I'll probably do a video on it next week is my plan. Jason has to finish writing up. We did their findings, we fixed it, and we sent them maps. We did all the fun stuff. But the next thing we need to do is we're doing a little bit more formal of a write-up because that's what we give to our clients. And I have a few things to cover. I want to share more with what we give to our clients. This is actually, it came up again in our management meeting that like you want to see the reports that we put together and what an assessment looks like. I mean, we're willing to show people if they want to know what that looks like and give you a redacted in terms of company name, but we can still show you any non-personal identifying details of what a formal assessment looks like. That might be kind of a fun topic to have as a video, and of course a fun topic to do as a with the Wi-Fi one. Like, here's the assessment, here's how all that works. But yeah, it's definitely the way that the end result, there's actually something interesting that I'll be talking about. And for those of you that didn't notice, Tom's got a MacBook, and one of the discoveries was my MacBook, mine's an M1, and it was roaming better than the other MacBooks. So that became a puzzle, because first it starts as a Wi-Fi problem, then it turns into a puzzle, then it turns into, oh, there's a problem with the way Mac does roaming. Then we found out a way to work around how Mac does roaming. And then we found out, because Tom being Tom, and I'm not much of an Apple person, I just happen to have this MacBook Air, it turns out I've disabled things that make roaming worse. And by disabling them, roaming got better. So it's stuff that anyone who's owned a MacBook and had a roaming problem has probably Googled. And by the way, if you Google MacBook roaming problems, especially with the M series chips, you'll land, I think, first on a Meraki page where it doesn't work right with Meraki. Then you'll find the Ubiquiti page. Then you'll find lots of other vendors with Wi-Fi where their problem is the Mac doesn't roam. One of the things I was doing to show the difference in the way roaming worked was really interesting, because I was roaming with my phone at the same time. So I had my laptop seeing what Wi-Fi is connected to, and my phone seeing what Wi-Fi is connected to. I'm holding them together, like walking around this big building, and you're watching my phone switch networks, switch APs, not networks. So it's roaming from AP to AP, no problem, nice and smooth. And the Apple will sometimes drop a ping because it goes, hold on, let me hang on all the way to -77 here. Let me just keep hanging on to this AP that's too far away, even though there's one above my head, and then doing the switch. So lots of little interesting things. What is best Wi-Fi mesh system to buy? This is controlled by a cloud app. I'm going to go with UniFi. You don't have to, with the UniFi system, you don't have to tie it to their cloud at all. You can self-host the controller with no cloud interface. So that's the one I'm going to say is the best. I got my M3 Air because of you talking about the battery. I will say I definitely like it. Yeah, I mean, mine's still the M1, and I mean, the battery just lasts all stinking day. It's just like, it's ridiculous. I haven't been able to get rid of it because it's so, here's the thing. Is the M1 super powerful? It's reasonably powerful. It gets everything done I want it done. It's almost like a Chromebook to me, though, because I mostly just use a web browser and an SSH. Like, those are the two primary things that I got running on this. And when I keep looking at higher end laptops, I actually want high end in terms of quality build, but I don't really necessarily need a fast processor. Matter of fact, trying to find a passively cooled x86 laptop is harder. Most of them will go, oh, look, we stuck an i9 that clocks up to, really fast rates for speed. I'm like, I don't need any speed. I'm running a web browser. I would rather trade that, but it's hard to find the right model that fits that, because I get it. And most people probably do have a use case for faster CPU. When it comes to the laptop, I don't really do any work. I send emails from this, like emails, lots of emails, lots of forum replies. I read the news. I do my live streams like this, which also my live streams done in a web browser. I'm just sending this out via web browser. What do you think on FreeBSD Linux? It's a heavy lift. It was a fun April Fool's discussion, but it's a heavy lift. Could it be done? Anything's possible if you've got the money and resources and the developers. What are your thoughts on the TrueNAS scale Dragonfish? I've been moving all my release candidate. Not everything yet, because I didn't have time to move a couple of them. But all the ones I moved to release candidate are smooth. I can't find anything wrong with them. They just work. Have you ever had issues with iPhones, UniFi APs with dual band network? Ended up having to split 5G into 2 SSDs. Yeah, there's lots of dumb problems that are Apple. So by the way, the Apple M1, like the MacBook Air, along with the Apple, I don't have an Apple phone, but the Apple phones, I'm gesturing towards my Android phone. Apple just doesn't roam through Wi-Fi very well. So I don't know why Apple does what Apple does. Yeah, you think you need the performance, but you just don't really need it with the laptops. Like, you know how much work I can get done? Matter of fact, I did think about looking at, Jeff Geerling did a weird little laptop review, but I don't mind. I thought about playing with a Pinebook. From a network engineering standpoint, a Pinebook would probably work. I don't know. Because I don't know if it's quite fast enough for some of the browser functions that I need, because what you run into if the processor is too slow, you'll notice this if you try to use your Raspberry Pi for a desktop, it's okay, but things do render in the browser and they may not render fast enough for you. So that could be a problem. NetBird self-hosted. Is it possible to separate the stun component accessible via the internet management via VPN? I don't understand the question. The idea of NetBird, you shouldn't have to wrap NetBird in another VPN, because NetBird itself is a VPN. So I don't see why I don't understand what you're trying to do. The idea of NetBird is we're going to have a node in the cloud somewhere accessible. It doesn't have to be in the cloud. You can self-host it. You need to have a node, one of them, on a public IP where the control plane is, so everything can talk to it. I mean, could you build a VPN, then wrap it in a VPN? Yeah. I think if that's a question. But I'm not exactly sure what your goal is there. Do the forum post in the net. I think the NetBird people have some forums where you can post that in there. I'll take a few more questions and I'll do it for 3 more minutes. You want the management interface more secure so not expose the internet. You know, the way I do that generally, and granted, we have jump boxes. So we'll take the management interfaces, and you can do this like DigitalOcean, Linode, whoever you want to use. You can go and filter to certain IP ranges or specific IP addresses, because we have static IPs here at our office. Each of our offices has static IPs. We will then add those IPs to the allow list in our cloud systems. That's what allows you to go through and easily have the management interface like locked down. Now, we don't know of any flaws in management interface if you do expose it, but this narrows it way further, because now think about the bar you've set for someone to get into your management interface. First, they got to come from my network. That's not easy to do, to come from my network, because I don't have like a free guest Wi-Fi that goes out the same IPs where you could stand outside my building. But by the way, the bar of I have to find a flaw in NetBird's interface and I have to be standing somehow outside of the CNWR offices is a pretty high bar. What are you running for your site-to-site, multi-site VPNs? Honestly, because of its integration, I just had someone else. It wasn't even a consulting; it was just an IT person I was talking to. They had to do a 5-site, and they were starting to go, "Wow, 5 sites, 5 VPNs, no overlapping networks." But they want to be able to mesh them all together, and they started building out the rules. I said, "Throw Tailscale in there," and I go, like, "Oh, yeah, that made it easy." Tailscale does great if you don't want to have to build any of the rules. WireGuard is solid if you want to use WireGuard if you're using all pfSense. Huge number of our clients use IPsec, not because more than any other reason than that's just what's available to them. Or, for example, we have some clients, like they have to have IPsec tunnels back to one of their own service providers, and so we can't control what's at the other end. So we have to use IPsec on our end. Have I looked at the pre-day sessions at GeekCon? I don't know. I go there to hang out with my friends, so I don't always look at the sessions as much. I'll just be honest. I don't always. I'm more of a go there and hang out, and I will probably end up joining maybe a panel session. So I don't really know. Hi, Tom. If you want to learn a new skill in IT, first explore, get hands-on nature of its vulnerabilities before I ever implement something practical. It really helps, and it's weird. Let's see. I first explore and get hands-on the nature of its vulnerability. Sure, always. Oh, we always poke at that. Do you have any experience with Port Master Application Firewall? Have never used it. I run a 7-site one with pfSense and OpenVPN, but it's such a pain to route. Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing when you start using something like Tailscale. And granted, we mentioned NetBird earlier. NetBird and Tailscale very similar, but NetBird's fully open source, including the control plane. I think it's a great tool. That integration into pfSense makes it so much easier. You're like, hold on, I want to publish a route for this particular thing. You know, you just go and hit here. These are the routes I want to publish. Where do you want to make them active? Well, I'm going to make them active over here. So now I can build it. So I have this particular route on this particular client active over here. And now I've just made all these work automatically without having to think about it. It's really nice. Jason Slagle realized there. Yep, I just finished the 45 drives thing, and so I jumped on a live stream here. I'm about to end it, though, in a couple minutes and go hang out with Jason Slagle and the people who are just down the street. I'm assuming, message me if this has changed, that I should, if I'm there by 4:15, I will be able to meet you at the bar. Let me know, Jason. Do I have a video? I have a video with an overview on NetBird along with several others. If you type in NetBird on my channel, you'll find an overview video along with a few others. But if you go to Awesome Open Source, the YouTube channel, they have a full video on it. And I'll answer the question, what's on my shirt before I leave? I don't even know what shirt I'm wearing. I'm looking myself. I think this is a shirt my wife got me, and it's some gaming shirt. I really don't have, I don't know where it says choose your character. That's I don't have, this is a shirt my wife bought me. We're giving you lots of goals because you aren't here to swat them off. That means they're having a meeting and I am now getting assigned the tasks. All right. Yeah, I think, yeah, Smash Brothers is the word I was trying to think of. I mean, that seems like what this is. It's hard to see. Yeah, that's definitely Smash Brothers. All right. Now we know what's on my shirt. Yeah, it has Pac-Man and all the game characters. Yes. Yes, that is what's on my shirt. Late skiing to Taylor. Hope you had a good trip. Yes. Trip to New York was fun. But yeah, the next trip is to the bar because that's, you know, more fun stuff that I got to go do. That's where the management meeting continues. So we had a management meeting all day, but there comes a point where the management meeting switches from coffee to the bar because we got to continue the meeting, and that's where we're going to end up next. But nonetheless, I will answer this question and I don't know. What do I think of the recent acquisition of Deft by Summit? I don't know. I don't keep up with the politics behind the scenes on there. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't know now. What usually you don't find out until much, much later is my contacts there. If I watch them jumping ship, then you know exactly how the acquisition is going. If you see them staying, it's good. The same thing, you know, with any of them, Akamai, Linode. You watch for people to jump ship, and you're like, oh, look, people are changing jobs. I guess things changed over there. Let's see. Everyone tempted to hawk your services at a bar to fix your Wi-Fi all the time, but usually not. Usually they're not the most target audience. It's amazing if they have Wi-Fi that works. Especially, I'm not always at the fanciest of bars. Any plans to do a Nutanix review for people who want to be curious? No, I have zero interest in Nutanix because my friend Rich Teslo, over at Two Guys Tech, he did a review. Rich's review is actually really good. It is a breakdown of Nutanix as compared to VMware. Also, most of you won't like Nutanix. It's very locked down. It's very proprietary. There's no iSCSI or NFS because there's no shares and there's no pass-through. So if you're fine with all those things, watch his video on Nutanix. If you aren't fine, but you just want to watch a video on Nutanix, he's got a whole video on Nutanix. But I don't really have any reason to look at Nutanix. The reality is, and I pointed this out before, if you look up, type in the words Nutanix for sale, and you'll find some Wall Street articles, et cetera, financial articles about it being for sale because they haven't been making money, so they were looking to sell the company. That's the thing. Nutanix is actually, if you type in Nutanix makes their first profit, you'll find out 2024 is the first time they become profitable, according to another Financial Times article. So I'm not really interested in the company. I don't know what they look like. Like I know some people that use it like on the side. Like I've talked to IT people that go, yeah, it's in our data center. It works. I don't pay the bill. Like we have some stuff in there and they don't have any complaints about it, but I know it's very locked down. And the fact that they don't support a SAN system was, I thought, an interesting side effect that of course means that will rule out a lot of people who may not like it. It's like hyper-converged with our software, end of story. That's how it works. I don't use Proxmox enough, so my opinion is cool they're doing it, but I couldn't tell you if it's an amazing feature or just something. I don't know what its status is the problem. I don't, matter of fact, we're building here an XCP-ng system to start importing VMware so I can do some videos on that, but I don't know if I'll have time to do the same thing with Proxmox. It's taken enough time to build the systems and get the lab up and running just because time is not infinite. So yes, it'd be cool to test it, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know that they support SAN, but I love Proxmox doesn't require SAN, 2 different takes on HCI. I mean, yeah, it all depends on what your goals are and if it fits your goals and fits your alignment at all. I don't have any interest in Zscaler. Once again, I know people using it. It's not on my client base, so it's not high on my priority list to take a look at it. Once you start getting into the commercial software, the reality is I'm not really a mouthpiece for them, and I don't really use their products. And if I were to be a mouthpiece, there was a good video I watched on this about taking advertising money. I mean, I need to take advertising money to pay my bills. I've been trying to keep that really light, but I could go all in and take a check from those companies. I think what people don't realize, and more YouTubers, I'm glad I'm seeing them be very open about this because I'm trying to be very open about this as well. It's wild. Sometimes it's hard for you, the consumer. You may know that there was an ad spot in there, but did you know that a YouTuber was given $60,000, $70,000 or more for a video on a product? And those lines get blurred quite a bit. Like, you need to be, using this. This is an amazing product. Let me tell you how awesome this particular software is. Thank you for sponsoring the video. And they don't say that till the end. You're like, oh, wait, was that an excitement for the product? Or were they excited because a check for $70,000 or more was written to them to talk about the product? The offers you get from these companies for things, I don't really do any of the VPN companies, but if you want to know why YouTubers do, another YouTuber recently broke down, and he had a channel similar size as mine. He went through the process of actually talking and engaging with the VPN people. I mean, the VPN people, I think we're willing to pay him $15,000 a video if he said he was using the VPN. $15,000 to shill a VPN plus affiliate commissions. Now you know why so many YouTubers shill VPNs. Let's see. VMware XCP on Windows triggers reactivation windows, so you want to make sure that your software assurance with MS. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is it's a mix because my ad revenue I make less money today with more views than I made 2 years ago because ads have been cut on YouTube. So even though I've got more views and more subscribers, I'm making less money per month on YouTube. And it takes money to run the channel. It takes money and time to produce everything. I'm lucky because I'm self-editing all of it, which has allowed me to go for longer without ads. But if you're watching the revenue I have in a bank go down every month because I was hoping the ads would turn around. They haven't. So now I got to find some advertisers or other ways to kind of, create the baseline of money. Not an easy thing to do without me saying yes to blah, blah, blah VPN. Or small ad at the top. Yeah. Yeah. This is an easy one. If the product sucks, well, here's the one. And I'm not going to say it's a product that sucks. I'll say Wazoo is pretty cool. Wazoo offers a lot of money to YouTubers, and I have not said yes to them. They've reached out to me several times, and I just didn't reply. Wazoo, I don't think Wazoo is a bad product, but did you notice how all of a sudden all these different YouTube channels were talking, and I don't mean channel, I mean channels in the plural. Start looking up Wazoo videos. You'll find a bunch of people were doing them because Wazoo had opened up their checkbook to influencers. There's one of them that, it's kind of fun. Just figuring it out. To be fair, I'd shill have in for $15K too. Yes, they really reach out, and it's wild what they're willing to offer as influencers. So, but I'm going to leave this here because I'm going to go I said I'd stop at about 4. It's 4:02. So I'm going to try to make it. The bars we're going to is just down the street. Maybe when I get home tonight, I will feel like doing another live stream, and I'll go from there. I like doing live streams, and I actually like this setup where all this is one cable to a camera, and I can sit anywhere. Sometimes I like to be outside of my basement. Where my studio, I love my studio, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of cool to be somewhere else and get the cool view of whatever's going on back here. Go see this, and I just whacked the table. Sorry, Jason. There we go. So look at that city skyline. Something look construction. Sometimes the police go by. You get all the brain stimulation going. Whoops. I'm gonna knock this over in a minute. All right, I'll leave everyone with that. Thank you for joining. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Maybe I'll do a live stream later. But yeah, take care, have fun, and I'm going to go enjoy a meeting. Later.